Hi, this is Kamera. My first few minutes with God, day number 129, 2 Samuel chapter 8 and 9, 1 Chronicles chapter 18. This first part that is covered talks about David subduing the Philistines by conquering their largest town, and that town was Gath. And what tickled me about that was Gath was where David ran to when he was running for his life from Saul. They took him in and gave him his own little town, and it was the king of Gath who took him in. So, yeah, he had to take care of them. And this is the thing, David, he didn't just go out and attack these nations. He's going in the direction of God. Everything David did, he did for the Lord. If the Lord told him to go, he'd do. If he finds that there's one of the towns that are in trouble, he asks God, should he go out and attack that land? If the Philistines are giving him a hard time, he asks God, should he fight? David consulted the Lord. So Gath, though, right? They were the ones who took him in. So the scripture also talks about the other nations and towns and places, kingdoms David conquered. He defeated a lot. God gave him a victory everywhere he went. And it talks about how he dealt with a lot of his situations. There were many who were killed, but some people, though, he did not kill, they became his subjects and they paid him tributes with money. So they mentioned chariots and charioteers and foot soldiers, how he dealt with certain horses. But yeah, they talked about some gifts that he received. When David received money, metal gifts, like when I say metal, gold, silver, bronze, he dedicated those to the Lord. David didn't play about God. That's one thing I love, love, love about David is his dedication, his love to God. I love that. I love that about David. And doesn't mean that David was perfect, but he was very sensitive to God, and that's his best quality to me. And because he was sensitive to God and wanted to please God, David was all about God and doing whatever God wanted him to do. And he always watched what he did, except for this one situation he thought he'd get away with. But that's another subject. David became even more famous. Again, God gave David victory everywhere he went, and he reigned over all of Israel. And scripture says that David did what was right and just for all his people. Now get this. David, he became concerned about Saul's family, and he wanted to know if there was any survivors he can show kindness to. Lo and behold, there was one. His favorite, Saul's son, Jonathan, had a son, and his name was Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth, he was handicapped. I mean, they talk about how he was crippled. But David, he reached out to him. And he invited him to his palace, told him that he's welcome to eat at his table anytime. He's always open doors for him. And he gave Mephibosheth everything that belonged to Saul, he gave to Saul's grandson. And not only that, he had this one person, Ziba, to him. Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants, and told them to look after Mephibosheth's farmland. Make sure you farm his land, make sure there's always food on his table. Basically, he became his sons and servants became Mephibosheth's servants. But yeah, remember Jonathan and Saul, if I'm not mistaken, had asked David to make sure that he showed kindness to their family when David became king. And David loved Saul. David loved Jonathan. And so that was nothing hard for him to do, to show that love and kindness. But normally what happens if there's a survivor, the king usually kills the previous king's family. But yeah, David was a true man of God. But there you have it, guys. That's day number 129, 2 Samuel chapter 8 and 9, 1 Chronicles chapter 18. You have a God-filled blessed day.